The advantages are that you have some sense of authenticity for the design, because you know that at least some of your target group approve of the design, they think it's going to be useful, they think they could learn through it, or whatever you're designing. And I think also beyond the content they've added to the design itself, you have a better understanding of how people within that target group actually think and how they see the world, and I think that's invaluable. In terms of the disadvantages though, it can be extremely time consuming. It can be quite frustrating. Not because working with the children themselves is frustrating, but because sometimes just getting access to a school or trying to make arrangements to meet with an after-school club can be quite frustrating because of school holidays or other activities that crop up. So given those kind of practical constraints, they sometimes don't work with your project plan that you're working to. I think that you have to be very careful about the skill set of the children that you're working with in a participatory design team. And you have to be careful about the developmental age of the children. So I think there's some prerequisite skills which you need before you start working with a group of children in this way. One of them is that they have to have a capacity for contributing to a group. So they need the talking and listening skills and turn-taking skills that are required for group work. And if you don't have that, then you're probably fighting an uphill battle. Sometimes it's useful to have reading and writing skills or art skills, particularly if you're evaluating existing software, then the children need a certain level of literacy to be able to read the words on the screen, for example. Constructive criticism skills are very useful, and that fits in with the curriculum in Scotland very nicely, because the children are quite skilled at giving constructive criticism to each other, perhaps more skilled than my students are. But that develops over time, so I think maybe by 10 or 11 the children can be quite good at that. But children younger than that might have differences with each other, and you have to take into account that you'll be spending some time looking after the group dynamics as well as trying to develop the software that you're working on. I think they can be involved at all stages, but you have to be clear about what you want out of particular stages. At the beginning, it can be useful to get a general idea from the children about what their likes and dislikes of the area that you're looking at is, and it can help to clarify your thoughts. But then you probably want to focus very carefully on particular questions that you want to answer during a session. You might have specific activities you want them to do, or a particular list of questions that you want to be answered in that. Otherwise you can wander off and your precious time in the school or with the group of kids can just be wasted away. So you need to be clear about what you want.